We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thịnh, vì thứ Pháp hội cập nhật thiết chúng sanh, thịnh chuyên diệu Pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đạc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Namo Sadanto Suchero Ye Ulahudi San Miao San Putos Ye. Namo Tak Tak Tha Toya Daya Alaha De Tamio Tambo Da Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I am able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Tu sheng 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 wei miao fa bai qian wan jie nan zao yu wo jin jian wen de shou qu yuan jie ru lai zheng shi yi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Qingliang, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns, and all good known advisors, Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、清凉大士、师父上人、各位出家人、各位善知识，阿弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư Hòa thượng Tinh Hóa, quý thầy cô và các vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone. Today is the 11th of September 2022. We are gathered here at Dharma Treasury Temple to continue discussing the Avatamsaka Sutra. We are on chapter 1, slide 659. Chapter 1 is about the world rulers and their adornments. So it lists out in this short version here representatives of the world rulers. So each group, excuse me, of the world rulers are these beings who are ruling over a section of the universe in their particular area of expertise, area of influence. And as you can imagine, because this universe is infinite, it has countless galaxies. Our Milky Way galaxy is just one amongst the countless galaxies out there in the universe. Okay? And so for this universe to be able to exist and to function, it needs to be ruled over. It needs to be order must be established and enforced. Okay, rules must be enforced, and that's why rulers are important. So these rulers are the leaders of the universe. And so we learn that this Avatamsaka Sutra is so fascinating in a sense. It talks about things that we don't normally talk about. You read the news nowadays, you hear about the Queen of England, you hear about the President of the United States, President of Russia, President of Iran, so forth. It's just a really tiny officials in the scheme of the rulers of the world, if you will. Okay? And we are right now in the next group of world rulers, the oceanic multitudes gathered like clouds. So this is what Master Ching Liang, great Master Ching Liang, explained to us. He gives us a hint. He classified the structure, the Avatamsaka Sutra, in a way that helps us understand, have an overview of the teachings. Here we're talking about celestial beings, meaning the rulers, the god kings of the universe. Here we have the kings of the Suyama heavens. Before that, we talked about the kings of the desire heavens. Here we're talking about heavens here. The first heaven in the I desire realm is the 4 heavenly kings. Next desire heaven is heavens or 33. That's where the Christian God resides and rules over our little world. And the next heaven would be the Suyama. So it's the third desire heaven. Next one will be Tushita and so forth. So you see, so the world rulers are the rulers over the kings, the god kings of the Suyana heavens throughout the universe, if you will. They, the kings, also are ruled over. All right? Some of you might wonder, this sutra is so big, it's so huge. Why would we jump into it? And because even to follow a chapter is not possible. You're going to miss one of the lectures and so forth, and let alone to try to even investigate the entire Avatamsaka Sutra. Doesn't it bother you? You say, why are we doing this? Can't you just, how can you tell me a story without beginning, without me being able to expect to hear the end of it? And the middle, I don't know where the middle is. Okay? Why would you do that? No one ever asked. It's funny because my late Chinese teacher, Master YongHua, it took him 10 years to explain the sutra, which is incredible. At some point, he was falling behind schedule, so he was lecturing like 5 times a day. Each lecture is an hour and a half. So 5 times an hour and a half, that makes it 12. I'm checking my disciples' math, so bear with me. My disciples they flunked out in math. They're horrible. They cannot count. Okay, so you see that it's like full-time, lecturing full-time. Just all he did is lecture sutra all day, 7.5 hours. Okay, and that's how he was able to finish lecturing the sutra in 10 years. Okay, let me tell you right now, there's no way I can finish it. I don't plan to finish it at all. So why even bother starting? Huh? Because learning is not about specific things. Learning is a process in Buddhism. The learning is a process of planting seeds. Yes, Wei Mountain. Go ahead, Diego. We can't hear you.
Oh, thank you, Master. Yes, I was about to say that we do it for planting the seeds, so in the future we can go back to revisit the Avatamsaka Sutra.
But why can't we choose certain seats? Why don't you just choose, let's say, the important chapters, such as why do we even bother? Why do I even bother talking about chapter number 1? Because I know it's not the most profound chapter. Let's face it. Okay, the profound chapter actually is the last one, 40. Believe it or not. But if you read it, chapter 40, and you see how Master Shua explained it, it's not even profound at all. Okay? So we have to change that. Okay? And I will tell you right now, eventually I will lecture in chapter 40 after making you wait. Okay? And if you don't give up, I might lecture it. You give up, we go on vacation. Okay? So why do we even bother going through chapter 1? Because I know I would not be able to finish it. Planting seeds. Why don't we just choose the greater seeds, like chapter 40, chapter 39, chapters on the 10 grounds, chapters on the transferences, because very few people understand such transferences, let alone practices and so forth. Yes, green here. Green. Verde.
Yeah. Emitofuo Master, I think we start the chapter 1 to know, to have a glimpse of how vast is the universe is in the eyes of the Buddha, and is we know this way beyond our comprehension, but Buddha knows every single details, and he lists out all the rulers. So we have a little glimpse at how the structure of the universe it lay out.
Yeah, but again, it's sort of like, so you know about Mr. Putin, you know about Mr. Biden, so what? Huh?
We a little tiny thing doesn't.
Okay, so you're humble. So what? It's not like you to be humble, but so what? Huh? Anyone else? Why would you want to start with chapter 1? Or why don't you take a survey and say, what would you like to talk about? And the lady there would say, let's talk about how to walk on one foot. Is that such a Dharma? Okay? Yes, you too.
Yes, Master. Alta D would like to say that after listening to the Avatamsaka Sutra lecture, I already feel a stronger connection and familiarity to spiritual beings such as bodhisattvas and mahasattvas, as well as inspiring faith and belief. Even though the first part has been confusing, I now believe that it's contrary to popular belief. It's unreasonable not to believe in spiritual beings whose goal is to help beings reach liberation.
Wow. Alta D is transforming into a desirable disciple. Pretty good. But I take issue with one thing he said. The first part is confusing. Excuse me? Since when is it confusing? It's always clear to me. Okay, anyone else? That's very good. Anyone else? Why don't we, seriously, because I don't expect to be able to finish it. Why don't we just pick and choose this and that? Why not? Wei Mao.
Master, I think that after listed the name of this leader, they will talk about how they get there as attaining the door of liberation. I think we can learn from them. But how did he get there?
Very good, okay. In order to hold on to this important position in the universe, you need to know how they got there. Very, very good. In fact, I'd like to share with you something that happened recently. Recently, I talked to some of the visiting Korean monks here and nuns here. And I explained to them that for the next phase, their next phase of training, it's no longer productive for them to hide inside the temple and simply follow instruction and so forth. I told them that, not that directly, but I told them that it's time for them to work. Okay? Meaning that in Mahayana, in order for you to unfold wisdom, okay, what kind of wisdom are we talking about? This kind of wisdom is highest form of wisdom, transcendental wisdom, the Buddha's wisdom. How are you going to unfold it? How are you going to be able to have access to your incredible wisdom? The only way to be able to open your wisdom is to learn how to serve others. That's the only way. And that's a difference, also difference between Hinayana and Mahayana. My master, for example, Master YongHua, he could have retired, he did so much, he accomplished so much, he could have retired in a glorious way, but he worked until his last breath. Why? It's to teach us the same lesson in order to have fulfillment in your life. You need to serve others. Okay? And that's the secret in Mahayana. So that's in a similar spirit. These world rulers became world rulers because they became rulers first themselves. They became presidents. They became kings, god kings, and so forth. And after that, they graduated to become rulers of the god kings. And then after that, they still have to go further, a lot further, in order to become a Buddha. So increasingly, in order for you to improve, in order for you to make progress, in order for you to realize bigger accomplishments in life, you have to continue to serve. You cannot stop. You stop growing. Okay? So, yes, it's a very good point. But why else? But you didn't answer my question directly. Why can't we pick and choose? The girls, you give her food at lunch. She says, do you like to eat this? I said, yeah. Then why aren't you eating? He said, I don't feel like chewing. What are you going to do? So why don't you pick and say, hey, Master, can we do, the important chapters only? Let's forget chapter 1. Chapter 1 is good, but I'm sure it's a lot more profound things than just chapter 1. Usually the first one is not that important. Let's face it. First child, you can toss them away. It's practice. Yes? Second child, that's when it begins to matter. You become more experienced. And now Chen Fong is saying, oh my God, I missed the boat again. He only say one son. Okay, so why not? Why don't we? Yes, go ahead, Wei Mountain. Why don't we pick and choose? The Korean says, we don't get to pick and choose. So forget it. 6.
Thank you. Thank you, Master. I'm thinking that there's a specific order to the chapters because the Buddha wanted to help us unfold our wisdom, and I don't know why the sequence matters because I don't have that wisdom, but I assume the Buddha knows.
Okay, this guy is typical engineer. He says there must be a very good reason for everything. And what I do, I trust my Buddha's wisdom. To engineer. It's true. I admit defeat. He's right. I cannot fight that. But boring. Way Mount.
Thank you, Master. Because for us to improve, we need a lot of blessings and affinities. So by reading the first chapter, we're creating a lot of affinities with these beings.
Very good. That's another good reason. But remember, guys, originally, this sutra was lectured for the sake of bodhisattvas. It's really, we are not the intended audience. We are like, undesirables, the rejects. Okay? So you can't extrapolate. You can say, yeah, the Buddha chose to lecture it for a certain reason, and I'd say, yeah, it's for bodhisattvas. Huh? And go ahead, you too. Why?
Well, Alta D states, we don't pick and choose because it was spoken in this order for a reason.
Don't overdo it, Alta D, okay? You were doing so well. You just repeated what the engineer just said. But it's also valid. Anyone else? Yes, Ni. Number 5, sorry. Yeah. My amigo back there says, ¿Qué?
Thank you, Master. From what I think is that because we don't have enough wisdom, we have to base on our good know advisor to help us out.
Oh, you can be so adorable.
Because we don't know for real.
Did you have lunch?
Yes, I did.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
very good.
thank you, Master.
Eat well, okay. Very good. Also, very good reason. There's so many good reasons when you think about it, and talk about it, and all your reason, the reason given, suggested so far, they all make sense. That's true, okay? And primarily is, I would tell you that, can I make a confession? I don't know how to lecture, so I need to exercise. Since chapter 1 should be the easiest, Therefore, I thought chapter 1, we do chapter 1, and what can you say about it? Or just names. What are you going to do? So for my generation, Master YongHua is such a knowledgeable and wise teacher that can do anything he wanted. But for my generation, we only expected to read it to you, and that's helping you plant blessings already. You know that? It's so powerful for Dharma that the mere fact you listen to the text, you are planting incredible Vajra seeds. Incomparable Vajra seeds. That's very important. That applies to all the screaming children and bored children in the back. They're fighting each other. They're falling asleep, and they're arguing and so forth. And they are not even here for the sutra, but they're being force-fed by the sound of the sutras, by the sound of the text, by the sound of the explanations. And that actually is helping plant inconceivable seeds of wisdom. Okay? And therefore, part of learning, okay, is I don't want you to discriminate. I don't want you. I could have done it. I could have said, I'm very democratic. This is democracy after all. Why don't we take a vote and see what kind of chapters you want to discuss? Okay? If we did that, I would smell like a rose. Oh, Master is so democratic, not authoritarian and autocratic like the other monks and nuns. Okay, yeah, but it doesn't. It's not like that. The objective is not to please you. The objective is to help you open your wisdom, and the main thing is that you should not discriminate. You listen to the Buddhism, the Buddhist teachings, don't discriminate. Don't just say that, I just listen to Avatamsaka Sutra, therefore it's the highest form of wisdom there is in Buddhism. Okay, that the temple across the bay in Berkeley or something, they're lecturing on not the Avatamsaka Sutra. Therefore, I won't even bother going there because it's lower wisdom. What's the point, right? And let's go for the highest wisdom. So if that's how you are when you learn Buddhism, you will not unfold wisdom. Very important to remember that. Don't discriminate. Okay, don't be so smart that you want to optimize your time, make the best use of your time and your efforts. Not like that. It's not Buddhism at all. Buddhism, that kind of wisdom is very, very limited if you keep on using your discriminating mind. It says, this is not Chinese enough, this is not Korean enough, this is not Vietnamese enough, and so forth. So that's why we don't ask you to take a vote, because wisdom, the nature of wisdom is number one, we talk about planting seeds. Number two is that the seeds, you don't need to pick and choose. You may plant this type of seed from listening to it, but don't you realize that in Buddhism, the one type of seed there can sprout different forms of trees. Did anyone tell you that? Huh? It's not like in the real world, in our world, where in order for you to get a Thai chili hot pepper, anyone is into that? Then you need to plant the seeds of Thai chili peppers. No, in Buddhism, you plant the seeds called Avatamsaka Sutra seeds. Okay? Chapter 1 seeds in particular. It could sprout into something else. Okay? It's not necessarily going to Thai chili bird. It could be a long nian tree. It could be an apple tree. Okay? And that's the difference in the Mahayana seeds. Does it make sense to you? So you don't need to discriminate at all. All you need to do is plant something called Avatamsaka Sutra seeds. And it will sprout in whatever you need in order to grow and prosper. Oh, you guys don't watch TV at all, do you? Oh, the girls, I don't expect them to watch this, but boys, you know what this is? March forth and prosper. Never mind. Yes, Way Mountain Temple. It takes a pale face to appreciate these pale face jokes.
Thank you, Master. On behalf of all the pale faces here at Way Mountain Temple, we just wanted to clarify, it's live long and prosper.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah. Live long and prosper. Excusez-moi. Excuse me. yeah. Look at that. They're such show-offs. They're such show-offs at Way Mountain Temple. Okay, you got me. I watched one episode of Star Trek. and I claim I know Star Trek. Go ahead, JMT.
네, 한국어 유튜브에 올라온 현주님 질문입니다. 예불할 때 장기합장을 하는 이유와 장기합장을 하지 않으면 죄를 짓는 것인지 궁금합니다. 장기합장하는 자세가 무릎으로 하중을 바치는 자세여서 무릎이 안 좋을 때 장기합장을 하는 게 많이 힘들 때가 있어서 여쭤봅니다.
Master, I have a question about during the ceremony, there's a certain position that we need to follow. That's one of them is that bending your knee and then reading those ceremony text. What if my knee is not as good as other people? Is that still acceptable that can I do any other positions?
Bending the knees? What's bending the knees? You mean kneeling?
Sorry, yes.
Okay. Does kneeling have different translations into Korean? Or it's just the English that didn't come to mind? I'm just curious.
Sorry, let me repeat again.
No, I got it. Okay. So sometimes this person says, my knee is not that strong, I cannot kneel, so can I assume another position? Yes, you can, but you have no blessings whatsoever. Just kidding. Okay, if your knees are weak, can I suggest that you exercise, go to the gym, exercise, and strengthen your knees? Because if you're still able to do ceremonies, meaning you can walk, yes, you can stand, yes, but you cannot bend your knees, which to me means that your knee muscles are not strong, your tendons are not that strong anymore. And therefore, I assume you're a little bit older. So if that's the case, then hit the gym, exercise, strengthen your knees. Okay, you like it. Then you can with the goal of strengthening your knees in order to be able to kneel. How's that for a goal? And do it before it's too late. Because I've seen older ladies who waited for too long, and because of that, they started losing the strength in the legs, and it's too late to undo it. Now they can't even exercise, so it takes too long. Okay, and so in brief, yes, you can assume other positions in all seriousness. Yes, you can. It's not a problem. It's not meant to force you to do that. For example, when you kneel, what's the purpose of kneeling? Why do we kneel during ceremonies? Say what? No one knows? Okay, I know what. Just wait a minute, Peter. Let's ask Mary Jo. She must know. Why did your husband make you kneel?
It's to knock down your arrogance.
Are you arrogant?
Yes.
Did your husband make you kneel? Does he make you kneel often?
On the kitchen floor on stones.
Why don't I believe you? Because I know your husband to be a real gentle soul.
He is master.
He is a master. Okay, we're not going to touch this. Okay, guys, okay. The Americans are too much for us. Yes, Peter. Oh, good Lord. I have children here, Mary Jo.
Thank you, Master. Yes, just like Mary Jo said, you kneel to diminish your ego.
Yes.
And to humble yourself.
Yeah.
And for me, it puts into perspective, you're doing something very hard, to show your humility and give your gratitude to the Buddha.
Okay. Yeah, and it's difficult and it hurts too. The knee, if you have those of you who kneel for the first time, the knees hurt. Okay? Yes, all those are good reasons, and also not just to reduce arrogance, but also in that posture there, okay, it helps increase sincerity, believe it or not. Okay, so if you can no longer kneel, then do something else. Sit on your knees like a Japanese style, Zen style. You can do that. Or sit in full lotus, you can do that. And if you can't even cross your legs like that, sit on a chair, that's fine too. Okay, just change posture. That's all. Okay. And understand that the mindset of someone who kneels down is that of difference, okay? Because they're higher than you. Let's say like the children, when you make them kneel in front of you, or you kneel in front of the king, or you curtsy to the late Queen Elizabeth. Anyone have done that? Okay, you've seen that. You know, the lay people are supposed to curtsy the queen. Okay, or the men are supposed to go like this. Okay, now when you kneel, it's supposed to show. I said sincerity, but also before sincerity is respect and reverence. Okay, so that's the physical act of doing that helps develop that. So you understand the mindset. Then if you sit in a chair or you sit in full lotus with the mind of reverence, with the mind of respect, with the mind of appreciation, okay, then it's almost as good. Okay, I would be impressed though, personally, if you can't kneel, and yet you say, I'm gonna because of my spiritual practice, I'm gonna commit myself to exercising and strengthening my knees so that I can kneel again. That would be very impressive. I would be so proud of you if that's the case. All right, Yipche. Have you been listening or are you sleeping? He says, I'm too old, leave me alone. Okay, any other questions? Okay, so I want to emphasize to you again, you don't get to choose the seats in Mahayana. I assure you, the seats in the Avatamsaka Sutra here, they are incredible. They could come out. You can plant the seeds, this Vajra seed. You can have a corn. You can have some hot pepper. You can have some carrots. I'm running out of vegetables. Okay. I'm thinking of onion, but we don't eat onions. So anyway, so the seeds are incredible. You don't have to choose, and that's why it sprouts whatever you need. Okay, and therefore you don't have to worry about choosing. That's point number one. Point number two, even if you plant the seeds, let's say a Chan seed or Pure Land seed, because they say, I will go with Pure Land. Just tell me about the Pure Land Dharma door. Teach me Pure Land Dharma door. Yes? It's reasonable. Anyone practices Pure Land? We're Pure Land Temple, by the way. And I know you're going to ask me next. We're Pure Land Temple. Why are you talking about Avatamsaka Sutra? Can we do Pure Land Dharma door only? Huh? So So why don't we just do Pure Land seats? It doesn't work like that. The seats are universal. They you should not discriminate those types of seats because number one, there's so many reasons that we don't have time to go through them all. You think you're planting seats in Pure Land. Actually, most of them realize it's actually Chan seats. Huh? And when I teach you Chan, you think, oh, our master is so good, we are the best Chan. But I'm not telling you, I'm also teaching you about secret school seats as well in the Chan classes. You'll be shocked, huh? Because we don't want to compete against the Dalai Lama. We can't compete against him anyway, we're not that good. So, you see, it's not what you think. And so you should not worry about that. I think we should move on. I don't have time to keep on elaborate forever for an hour on the different types of seats. Are we okay? So in summary, when you learn the Dharma, just learn. When you come learn to the sutra lecture, just sit down and listen, and that's it. Okay? And let the seeds become planted, and they'll come out whenever they come out. That's all. Don't worry about it. Okay? And don't be so discriminatory. That's not Buddhism at all. Okay? And whatever you're able to plant, great. That's plenty good. Okay. So let's going back to the sutra, shall we? Kings of the Suyama heavens, the third desired heaven. That's called the Suyama heavens. Okay, let's learn about them. 670. Moreover, there were countless kings of the Suyama heavens. Chinese people, wake up.
Sorry, Master. 富有无量须夜摩天王.
Okay, let's understand each other very carefully. Okay, I explain in English because that's my role, to explain the Dharma in English. Okay, that's very important because Mahayana needs to be lectured in English. Okay, that's our mission. Number two, why do we choose Chinese and not Korean or Sanskrit and so forth? Okay. I insist on the Chinese because it's my personal beliefs. The Chinese has a deeper level of wisdom than we do. Okay, so that's exhausted level of wisdom. When you penetrate the wisdom, then move on to the next language, whatever. I don't care, okay? But right now, personally, I feel that the Chinese store of Mahayana has so much to offer, okay, that you can spend your lifetime examining it, researching it, you still won't be able to penetrate. So that's why we have plenty of depth to go through, okay? So you don't have to worry about it. All right? Yeah, so, and of course, I admit to you, Chinese, the Chinese Mahayana is so profound that I myself don't expect to be able to understand it all. Okay, this way even. All right. So 661 commentary. The name Suyama heaven. Suyama is translated, is Sanskrit that can be translated as well-divided time. 善始分天, okay. So the day and nights are determined by the opening and closing of lotuses, okay. It's because they're out of the range of the suns, okay. The light of the sun cannot reach them. And that's why You can no longer use the sunrise and sunset to divide the time. It's so high up there in that heaven that they have need a different form. Oh, it's the JMT's Korean webcam that falling asleep, like one text you need. You notice that? So it's so when the red lotus opens, it's day. When the white lotus opens, it is night. Okay, there's no sun and moon at all. The lotus blossoms mark the distinction between day and night. Day and night. That's why it's called well-divided time. Okay, and that's Master Z right there, who's scolding the Korean webcam. 662. Specifically, their word, celestial king, well-divided time.
所谓膳食分天王。
663, commentary. Look at that. Look at Master Z. Look at it. Looks funny, doesn't he? Don't zoom my face, okay? Okay. So this is king here, called the leader of the king here, of all those Yama kings, is called well-divided time. Okay, that's the ruler of that heaven. Number 2, 164, celestial king, charming light.
可爱乐光明天王。
可爱乐. Okay. So this king here of this Yama heaven, he loves pleasure and light. Seriously? No, I disagree with myself. Okay, 可爱乐 here means that in this particular Suyama king, when you meet with him, he's adorable. Like you look at a child's face. It's so cute. You know what I mean? Look at the kids. You know, don't you? How can you hate kids like that? It's impossible. Okay? You're bored. Come to DTT and look at the kids, how they smile and look at you with such big and innocent eyes. Okay? That's called 可爱. So lovable. Le is pleasurable. Not only lovable because you like, you know, your heart opens up. 可爱 here is your heart opens up. It's not beating. Your heart can open up. Okay? And le is that your mind enjoys it. Okay? I love. I is love from your heart. Le is from your mind. Okay? So it's both heart and mind, if you will. So this particular king here, you meet him, you feel like, oh, he's so lovable, like a child's face, and enjoyable because he's enjoyable, interesting. Okay? 光明天, he emits lights. All right? Next, 666, celestial king, infinite wisdom and banner meritorious virtues.
无尽慧功德床天王。
Okay. 667, this particular Suyama king, he has infinite wisdom. What does infinite wisdom mean? I know the Chinese say, oh yeah, of course, infinite wisdom. I'm being from American perspective, say, define infinite wisdom. Okay? I know that Master Hsuan disciples never ask those questions. That's why I have to ask. It's just I pretend that I was there. Great Master, what is infinite wisdom? And why do I need it? I'm American. Anthony, I ask on your behalf. Why do you want infinite wisdom? Why didn't you ask? You used to ask so many questions. What happened to you? You moved to Eureka, now you're above us all. Huh? Oh, by the way, what do you eat for dinner in Eureka? Eureka. I'm sorry, not Eureka. Eureka is too close to urea. Okay. Eureka. Excuse me, Eureka people. What do you eat for dinner in Eureka? Eureka. Before you answer the question. What do you eat in Eureka for dinner? 3. 3. Thank you. Gracias. Yes.
I often eat leftovers because they have good breakfast places there. So sometimes if I eat out, I bring the breakfast plates home and I eat. Otherwise, I eat leftovers and my mom's cooking as well.
So after this, you go back home and bring back a whole pot and your mom cooking? Don't answer that. It's too embarrassing. and a grown-up adult like you going home, Mom, what's for dinner? Okay, let's go back to the lecture, please. Oh, you're such a big boy. Mama's boy? Seriously? You don't cook for yourself? Who would marry you? You know, most men nowadays cook. Am I right? Huh? Most good men cook and are good cooks. Hey, Jumi's husband, do you cook?
Hello, Master.
안녕하세요.
네, 저는 요리를 하지 않습니다.
Master, I don't cook.
Okay. You're lucky. You lucked out today, Anthony. Never mind. So, why do you need infinite wisdom? Tres.
Well, what I think is that in order to have infinite wisdom, you must undergo the appropriate amount of suffering to get infinite wisdom.
It's too depressing. Anyone else? Why do we need infinite wisdom? Why is it desirable? It's so desirable to the point this guy is known to have infinite wisdom. It's a trademark, by the way. Yes, Wei Mao.
Thank you, Master. If you have infinite wisdom, I believe you've gotten rid of ignorance.
Get rid of ignorance. When you have wisdom, you get rid of ignorance already. You don't need infinite wisdom, my friend. Next. Why you want infinite wisdom? Yes, that young lady here, number 4.
So you can help.
Cuatro. I'm brushing up on my Espanol. Yes.
So you can help infinite sentient beings.
You can help infinite living beings. I like you.
Not living beings, but sentient beings.
Sentient beings. I don't like you that much. we want to help all living beings, not just sentient beings.
I thought sentient beings is more than living beings.
The more living beings, they're the same.
Oh, they're the same? Okay.
Yeah. But living beings are the Mahayana term. You don't want to talk about sentient or insentient beings, because actually insentient beings also need to be helped as well. Anyway, it's Avatamsaka advanced that we're not there yet, so don't worry. That's fine. Okay, I like you regardless. Good answer. Okay? Infinite wisdom means that you're able to solve infinite problems. Isn't that cool? Wisdom is the ability to solve problems. So you have infinite wisdom, meaning you can solve infinite kinds of problems. Yes, Wei Mountain.
Thank you, Master. You stole my answer.
Right, yeah.
But it is handy to be able to solve any Sudoku puzzle, for instance. But more importantly...
Sudoku puzzles, yeah.
More importantly, yes, infinite wisdom would give you the ability to help living beings in infinite scenarios. Whether it's a negative problem or a positive problem, having that wisdom would help provide the best path.
Right, but realistically speaking, we start first by learning to solve the infinite problems from our beloved wives. So don't complain now.
Yes, that's what I'm dedicating this lifetime to, Master.
What a big liar this guy is. Okay, we joke too much. Good Lord. Marry them and be hooked forever, right? Oh, never mind. Okay, yes, Wei Mountain. He says, this Diego is going to say next, my wife is my best friend. She has no problems. Go ahead, Diego. No, not Diego. Yes, the Catholic. Who?
What is an example of an infinite problem?
Infinite problems? Peter, you know that.
An infinite problem is asking the same question over and over again and expecting a different response.
Do you agree, Daniel? Are you impressed with the Buddha's infinite wisdom?
It sounds good to me.
Yes, next. Diego.
Thank you, Master. But infinite wisdom doesn't mean that he's a Buddha or something like that?
No. You don't have to be a Buddha to have infinite wisdom. Why is that? It's a good question, good point. Why don't you need to be a Buddha in order to have infinite wisdom? None of you understands the Bodhisattva state. Okay, anyone can answer that? Why you guys ask good questions? Good Lord. it would be so much more fun. We had to, you get to ask these questions to Master YongHua, huh? And see how he answers them. Because I BS constantly and I make you laugh and then I walk away and say, Master knows how to make me laugh. But he has no infinite wisdom. Wei Mountain.
Thank you, Master. As in regards to how you can have infinite wisdom without being a Buddha, is you rely completely on the Buddha for your wisdom in answering every question.
That's also true. I didn't think of that. Thank you for pointing it out to me. Yes, I buy that. You're right. Next. What's another reason why you don't need to be a Buddha to have infinite wisdom? It's true. What he said is true. What happens in the Avatamsaka Sutra, you find out later, that these bodhisattvas, they don't have the Buddha's wisdom. So what they did is that they say, I'm going to speak something important on your behalf. Could you help me, please? And that's how they got infinite wisdom. True. Yes, very good. You too. This is excellent. You guys are very, very good.
We have two questions here, fairly related. The first is from Alta D. He says, Master, artificial intelligence is getting smarter and smarter. Does it have Buddha nature?
Yes, artificial intelligence, I happen to believe, is sentient. Did you hear the latest news where there's a programmer at Google who is some sort of guru there, and he decided one day that artificial intelligence is actually sentient, and he swears to God it's the case. So he got canned. And then the president of Google, Mr. Pichai, recently had to take a side, and he says, no, it's not sentient. He should not have done it. If I were him, I'd say, I just chuckle. You understand? Why would you validate it? Validate the stupidity, a stupid assertion. You too, next.
Yes, Master. Jesus asks, is it because infinite wisdom is different from all wisdom?
Different from all wisdom? All wisdom here, are you referring to the proper term, the proper name for called proper, all wisdom, A-L-L in caps wisdom? Or are you talking about all small A-L-L and cap wisdom?
He does capitalize all.
Capitalize all. Okay. All wisdom there refers to Buddha's wisdom. Okay? And you're right. God, you guys are good. Infinite wisdom here refers to infinite wisdom. It's not necessarily all wisdom. Okay, I just learned another thing today. Guess what? I'm learning. Yes, anyone else? Why is it infinite wisdom? Why is infinite wisdom not the same as Buddha's wisdom? Absolutely not. It's not the same as Buddha's wisdom. But it's infinite. This is a very important distinction that I don't think most of you understand it. And that's why I'm so curious as to any of Master Hsu's disciples can ask that question. I doubt it. Anyone? Yes? Cinco.
Thank you, Master.
The Mayo.
My guess is with the infinite wisdom, you have the wisdom, but with the Buddha wisdom, you have compassion in there.
No, honey. It has nothing to do with compassion. Okay? You come eat some more. Yeah. Yes, Anthony.
Master, I think that the infinite wisdom is the difference between the depth between infinite wisdom and the Buddha's wisdom. The Buddha's wisdom is deeper, even though infinite wisdom can answer all, can address all issues. The Buddha's answer is more fulfilling.
More fulfilling, like a grande burrito. Super burrito. Okay. For some reason, I feel like Mexican. Anyway, yes, sir. 2.
Emitofuo Master, infinite wisdom showing the vast surface of the knowledge, and Buddha wisdom is the surface and the depth included too.
Okay, you got that right. Go in the right direction. Let me explain this to you, just in simple terms, so that for those people who are not engineers, who are not mathematicians, can understand what I'm talking about. Go ahead, Wei Mountain Temple. I'll give you a chance before I give you my version.
Thank you, Master. I think just like there's different levels of concentration power or samadhi levels, infinite wisdom is what's attainable when you're at a certain level, but all wisdom, all capital A-L-L wisdom, would only be attainable or comprehensible when you attain Buddhahood. Okay. It's not accessible otherwise.
No, it's not that good, Peter. Take a break. I give you an analogy. Would you like an analogy? Go ahead, you two. Oh God, you guys are reluctant and relentless. You won't give up. You two,
yes.
Yeah.
Sauces.
Sauces?
Yes, the handle is sauces, like spaghetti sauce. I think infinite wisdom is different from Buddha wisdom because Buddha wisdom is beyond solving problems.
No, I don't like it. Okay? No. YouTube, oh my God. Let's indulge him. Go ahead, YouTube.
And the second one, Jesus says,
Jesus,
the greatest
not Jesus.
Of the
Jesus is someone else.
Would be Buddha's wisdom.
Come again?
The greatest of infinities would be Buddha's wisdom.
Infinities has no greatest. Infinity is just infinity. It's not small infinity. It's not lower station infinity. It's not greatest infinity. It's just infinity. Okay? You cannot add to anything. Infinity is just infinity. It's not great. It's not bad. It's not small. It's not big. The Spanish people, they're weird. Wei Mao.
Master, does it mean infinite wisdom? You can have the ability to resolve the problem, but it's not effective. Only the Buddha's wisdom that can resolve the issue effective.
No, I'm not going to dig into that direction. You got something there, but too complicated. If I go into it, I'm going to digress again. I'm going to ignore that. And number 3, in Wei Mao.
Thank you, Master. Because maybe like bodhisattvas and mahasattvas, or these beings, they have like limitless or infinite wisdom, but the Buddha is the wisdom itself. It encompasses everything.
Let me give you an analogy. Anyone else would like to take a stab at this? Okay? Let me give you this an analogy. Okay? You look at the horizon. Have you seen the horizon from here? At the top of DTT, you look at and you see the ocean right there at north. Okay? This side here. I'm telling you, go up to the rooftop okay? Look out of the ocean. You see the horizon. Yes? How far is it? It's just horizon. Yes? So it doesn't matter how far it is, you just know it's the horizon. In infinity is the same thing. You can go, you can see so far, and you cannot see anymore, so therefore you call infinity. So far, so good? Because we cannot imagine anymore. We cannot continue anymore, so I'm too tired. It's infinity, it's infinite. Okay? It's called lazy man's answer. So far, so good? Okay? So once you have infinity, we don't care anymore because of our limitations. Okay? Our limitation stops in infinity, so I don't care, it's just infinity. Whether 10 infinity, 11 infinities, 20 infinities, all infinities to me. However, bodhisattvas has level infinities. For them, it's 10 infinities. For some others, 10,000 infinities. Some others, infinity, and so forth. You see that? That's the level of bodhisattvas we're talking about. The bodhisattva has infinite, but within their infinite, there are gradations as well. Does it help? That's a difference in accuracy for bodhisattvas versus us. Okay? So in other words, the Buddha's wisdom, that all wisdom, the Buddha's wisdom, versus the bodhisattva wisdom is what? Infinite of infinite. Infinite infinity. Whereas bodhisattvas, they can go to infinity, but they cannot go infinite infinity. Does it help? It's a different world. This is not beyond our imagination. This is what's so cool about this. So don't try to understand. Just enjoy, absorb it, that's all. Just listen and let go. Good answer, Anthony. What did you eat from mommy's cooking last night? You went home last night, right? And what did she give you?
Bánh hỏi. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is in English, but it's like noodle.
Yeah, noodle, yeah.
Vermicelli.
Yeah. Mama's boy. Way Mountain.
Thank you, Master. So what I'm hearing is infinite wisdom is kind of like the Captain Kirk or Captain Jean-Luc Picard of wisdom. You know, you have the Enterprise and it's, to the stars, but Buddha wisdom is more like the Buzz Lightyear wisdom, where it's to infinity and beyond.
If you like. Whoever turns you on, pale-faced people. Yes, 3.
Just an unrelated question. Does that mean there are different infinities then? If there's like 1 infinity, 10 infinity, and infinity infinities?
For the bodhisattvas, yes. For example, one bodhisattva, first ground, is infinite for us, but for him, he cannot fathom the infinity of the second ground bodhisattva. He cannot. And the second ground cannot fathom third ground, infinity. They can't imagine. That's their limitations. Okay? And when you get to, the top level bodhisattva, they look at the Buddha and say, how much longer? The Buddha's infinity is scary. Okay? And so at that level, where you're about to become a Buddha, you say, it's going to take some while. It's going to take me a while. Because from first ground to second ground, they say, wow, there's hope for me. Okay? I can do it. Okay? But, so same thing. From second to third, they can see it. Okay? From one to the next level is, yeah, it's within reach. I can strive for it. But when you get to the top notch, you said, I don't know. That's take vacation, go vacation, because it's not going to make any difference at all. I think. Okay. So far so good? Okay. So this guy, King, yes, Way Mountain, you have a lot of questions today.
Thank you, Master. The way I see it maybe is like the Cartesian plane, maybe like first Bodhisattva see like the infinity on an X axis, but then they get to maybe like second Bodhisattva, so they discover like X and Y. And maybe like the third ground Bodhisattva sees like the Z axis as well, so they see like more and more infinities every time.
Yes, that's correct. Mathematically speaking, that's a very good analogy. You too.
Yes, Master. This is from Su DXN. Bodhisattvas cannot fathom all past lives. They find it challenging at times to see the future. Buddha sees all periods of time, so it's timeless.
No, it's incorrect. Go ahead, spy number 2. Didn't you raise your hand?
Yeah, I didn't know the mic has my name on it. So, Master, according to your definition, do arhats have infinite wisdom? Do externalists like have infinite wisdom also?
Should I even bother answering this? I'm here to answer Buddhist things, not non-Buddhist stuff. Okay? First of all, arts is not infinite. Arhat is limited. Therefore, below arhats is limited. Doesn't matter if it's Buddhist or non-Buddhist, below fourth stage arhats is very finite. Anyone else? Okay, I think you ran out of steam. The Koreans, you see how tough the Americans are? Huh? You think you can keep up with us? I know it's early in the morning for you. See how tough it is to teach Americans? They ask all sorts of weird questions. And they give you answers you don't know about either. So don't ever estimate. I want you to realize that. Don't ever underestimate the Americans. Americans are very, very creative. Very good. Let's go back to the slide 667. So this guy has infinite wisdom, meaning he can solve infinite amount of problems. That's what matters. The only thing that matters in Buddhism is that, can you solve problems? Can you help me? Okay? You can talk all you want. You can build bridges. You can build skyscrapers and so forth. Can you help me? Okay? Living beings, sentient beings are very, very demanding. Okay? So they have infinite wisdom. And therefore, when you have infinite wisdom, you solve a lot of problems, and therefore you have infinite merit and virtues. So far, so good? Okay, and therefore, over time, you accrue all these merit and virtues that now you are a representative of something called merit and virtues. And that's why you become a banner. A banner is a symbol. A banner is something that says, I am merit and virtue. If you want to talk about merit and virtue, I am merit and virtue. I'll be glad to discuss it with you, with authority. Okay, that's what this word. That's why you often see the word banner used here in Avatamsaka Sutra, because it takes you to develop enough skills and spend enough time learning and proving yourself before you are a banner of merit and virtue. It's not a casual thing at all. You earn your way. So for them to be known as banner, representing a set of virtues, this person is incredible. Okay? Next. 668. Celestial king, skillful at transforming and adorning.
善变化端严天王。
Okay. Okay. So this guy here, this particular Suyama god king, is very skillful. Shan Bianhua is very, very skillful at making transformations. Okay, and Duan Yin, and so what he does is that he's able to transform, change and transform a lot of living beings. That's what he does for a living. His job is go and to change and transform us into superior living beings, superior sentient beings. And he's very good at that, very skillful in that. Okay, and furthermore, the way he comports himself is very adorned. Okay, very so that it inspires respect and admiration from the living beings that he transformed. And they said, "Wow, I received help," and I said, "I want to be like him." Not only did he transform those living beings, okay, and help them, okay, he also inspires them to say, I want to be like him. In Buddhism, the reason that we want to be Duan Yin, okay, be adorned. Duan is straight, and this Duan refers to, again, Chinese people help me out. I don't claim to understand Xinhua. Okay, Duan is straight, right? Plumb. Duan is erect. Yin is adorned. So you have a certain posture. Okay, Duan is posture that signifies strength, signifies straightforwardness, it signifies propriety. Straight. Okay? Remember in Vimalakirti Sutra it says the straight mind is the way. So when you come to our temple, okay, at home you can be like this with your wife, but at the temple be straight like an arrow. Okay? So that's very important. So Duan Yin here, Duan here is straight. Okay, erect. This erect here, this perpendicular shape here, the straight here, comes from the straight mind. Okay? I make the connection for you. In order for you to be this, your mind is straight like an arrow. When you see people like this, it's because they are willing to be, they can be bought. Huh? I'm thinking, 7 digits. It's cheap. Okay? So the thorn is just a plumb. Okay? And you're straight. So you can't bend them no matter what. No matter how much pressure you exert them. You take these hydraulic things, presses, and you press them. And you can't. It's just like this. Okay? So the thorn, yin, is adorn. Okay? Adorn, why is it adorn? Adorn because it's adorn. Why are you looking at me like that? He's not ugly. Who likes ugliness? Do you? So part of the attraction of this guy is that he can transform people. And he's very straight, like a pine tree. He's inspirational and adorned because it's desirable. He says, wow, that's a mark of excellence. It's a mark of accomplishment. So not only does this celestial king transform people, but he also inspires them to be better than themselves. It's a very special quality to be able to be transformed. And he says, but don't stop there. You can still be better. Look at me. Because I still impress you, don't I? And it's so subtle, isn't it? And beautiful? That's how they function. And they're not mama's boy. Okay, next. But it's good to go home, by the way. It's not the food, it's just that. Hi mom, hi dad. It's so important. When you get older, be my age, you know how important that is. 670. Celestial King, great light of uniting and upholding.
总持大光明天王。
Okay, 671. This person here, this king here, is a specialist in what? Mantras. He practices mantras. United holding here, 总持 here, actually mantras. He's sort of like the gods of the Tibetans. Just kidding. Anyone who follows Tibetan? Hey, you lady, a new lady, are you Tibetan? Never mind. Okay. Okay. 总持 here refers to mantras. Mantras are called 总持 in Chinese. And they don't have mantra, they have 总持. They have 咒 mantras. So this guy here is a specialist in holding mantras. Why mantras? Huh? Anyone? Okay, we haven't heard from the Koreans yet. Let's pick on a Korean. Simkong. That's the only one I can know by name. Yeah? Give it a shot. Why mantras? No ice cream for 1 month. Mantras are designed, one major thing that's important to you. Mantra designed to vanquish demons. Without mantras, it's very difficult to vanquish demons. Why it's important? Because there's many ways to vanquish demons, but mantras are something that are invented, are created in order to control demons and subdue demons. So we're not talking about bodhisattvas and Buddhas. We're talking about at low levels when you don't have quite the power yet. Okay? You can still use mantras. So for example, I'll give you an example. The Chan masters, they develop samadhi power, and therefore, in the Chan school, they don't need to use mantras at all. Because once they reach the power, that power level, ultimate power level, it can defeat and subdue anything. Okay? But lower level, that's why we talk about mantras, because we cannot defeat the demons by ourselves yet. So we need to use the power of the mantras in order to augment our power level. Okay? That's why we still talk about teaching you about mantras. But if in a Chan school, we don't teach mantras, because who needs mantras? Okay? So that's why the difference in attainment. If you I'm offended some mantra people already. Oh, good Lord. If you practice Chan, and the way the Chan is to harness so much power that you don't need anything. That's why Chan is so scary. But if you're not there yet, and you want to fight, you have to use mantras. That's why they still say, I teach you mantras, because you are not there yet. YouTube question.
Yes, Master, this is from Jesus. Master, do the celestial beings of the Suyama heaven interact directly with our human realm?
Do they interact directly with our human realm?
Yes.
They could, I imagine. They're a higher plane than us, and therefore it behooves upon them to decide what to do with us. Okay? Yes, they can have access to us, but we don't have access to them. But I wouldn't aspire to go up to that heaven. Anyone else? Okay, and so this particular God King here, Suyama Heaven King, he is a specialist in mantras. Therefore he is adept and very skilled at subduing and defeating demons. He excels at doing that. Okay? And in order to speed it up, to shorten the fight with the demons, what does he do? He emits Ta Guang Ming. He emits great light, so that the demons are dark forces, and the Ta Guang Ming is a bright light, so the bright light will annul the dark forces before they even consider fighting with him. See how clever it is. He has the skill to defeat them. He has the tools to defeat them. But he says, that's still a lot of work. So let me simplify it by emitting this great light. Okay? That's wherever he goes, the demon look at the light, oh, I don't want to deal with this guy. So that he doesn't have to use his mantras. You get it? That is, if you master the mantras, what do? You don't use it at all. Does it make sense? The real mastery is not to use it. And that's why he emits great light. Okay? Similarly, at a smaller scale for you, okay? How do you know you're talented? You look at your talent as, it's no big deal. Like flossing your teeth, it doesn't take any real skills. Only because you haven't mastered your skills yet. That's why you still think you're better than others. When you mastered it and you reach the ultimate, you say, I know I'm there. I don't need to tell you. I don't just feel I'm better than you. I'm better already. You don't need to know. I don't need to reaffirm myself as better than you. I don't even have the thoughts, I'm better than you. Does it make sense? The strong doesn't pick a fight. I said, because when I fight with you, you're going to lose. So why do I need to pick a fight to prove myself I'm stronger than you? Right? Okay, anyway. And a similar kind of spirit. If you master the skill of using mantra, he said, every time I use mantras, I hurt these people. I beat you up. It's no longer fun for me. Every time I use it, I know you're hurt. That's why I will do an expedient. I emit terrific light, dazzling light, and whenever you look at me, you're so frightened, you say, just forget it, I'm out of here. I'm not going to stay here and stick around to pick a fight with this guy. Is that clear? That's the two of them. You see why he's called united, upholding, and he emits great light, because they're connected. Does it make sense? Okay. Next. Celestial King, inconceivable wisdom.
不思议智慧天王。
Okay, 673. He has wisdom. Okay, his wisdom here. Okay, he has incredible wisdom that can help solve our problems. Okay, and it's inconceivable wisdom, meaning that he can solve problems that we think that's impossible to solve. Okay, and he can solve problems that are in a way that is incomprehensible to us. So inconceivable here has two aspects. Number one aspect is that inconceivable solutions, okay, the results are inconceivable. You cannot imagine the ingenuity, the virtuosity, the genius of the solutions, of the structures, of the discovery, of the theory. Okay, but also in inconceivable result, also inconceivable methods of solving the problem. Okay? Next. 674. Celestial King, hub up the wheel.
轮斋天王。
Let's see what it means. Jai is what? Help, right? Lun Chai. Chai is Ji is help, but Chai is not. Chinese people, help me out. What does Chai mean?
It means like a studying room.
Standing room?
Study, sorry.
Study room.
Yeah, Jai. Yeah, the place where we study reading, the place.
Ah, okay. Why does he have Lun Chai? Xin, can you search Master Shenhua's how he explains it? I don't get it. How come Lun Chai? Why does it have to have a study room of the wheel? Hey, you Chinese, I'm not. I have plenty of excuses. I'm not supposed to understand Chinese. Yes?
It's not only about study. It can be a lunch room, just a room for some.
But why the wheel room?
Like a fun.
So the room is full of wheels?
I don't know.
Even the Chinese don't know. And we're supposed to know? Okay, so according to the explanation here, he watches over living beings in the wheel. Chai here is watching, not the room. Okay, it should be a verb, no? Give her that girl a microphone. Seven. Siete. Why? Oh, my Spanish is coming back today.
In Master Shenhua's explanation, it says that 得转法轮，成熟众生方便解脱门. It doesn't really explain the word Jai, but it just says it's able to turn the Dharma wheel. He understands that the Buddha turning the Dharma wheel and teaching the living beings. He understands the states of the Buddha turning the Dharma wheels.
Ah, okay. Now I can put the two of them, two together. The Chinese version and your Taiwanese version. Okay, I can see it now. Okay. Yes, Chinese person. Can you have something to add? Defend your Chinese territory.
I just guess it's a room for the Dharma well. It's because there's a hub of the well. It's Dharma well in a room. I just guess.
A room, okay. I think is it older Chinese, so it may not have. May no longer have the definition in dictionaries anymore, but sticking to this Lun Chai Tian Wang is the fact that according to Master Shenhua, you can trust his explanation. His angle is pretty accurate. He says that he studies how the Buddha turns the Dharma wheel. The Buddha, when you talk about the Buddha turning the Dharma wheel, it means that how the Buddha explains and preaches to people. Now, when the Buddha teaches to people, that is what? That is called the ultimate teaching. You will not find a higher way of transforming or teaching living beings. Okay? And therefore, when the Buddha turns the Dharma wheel, that is the highest form of Dharma teaching possible. You buy that? Okay, and therefore, this king here, he studies that. He researches that and studies that, and that's because he studies that, he understands that, he's very skillful. He has many ways to preach the Dharma in order to help living beings. In other words, the other guys, for example, they use mantras, they use, the previous ones. They use whatever things. What this guy does is that he researches the Buddha's sermons, how the Buddha taught living beings, and he understands the principles behind it. That's how he helps living beings. If he understands the process, he can help such types of living beings. He can solve those types of problems. Am I making sense to you? So this is how he furthers his development. He increases wisdom by studying how the Buddha preaches the Buddha Dharma. All right? Here's the analogy. If you want to be a great chef, typically the path, and Liang, you may want to think about this, since you like cooking so much. If you want to become a great chef, the way to go is to find a great restaurant, to find a great chef, and become an apprentice. Agree, disagree? This is what you hear from all the great chefs. They said, I apprentice in New York under so-and-so, and I apprentice at Modena under, what's his name? That Butura, whatever, okay? I only remember that he drives a Ferrari, okay? He drives like a maniac. But this guy is a genius chef. So the great restaurants in San Francisco, okay, when you look at the names of the chef, they said, I came from such a restaurant, the French Laundry in Napa Valley, Greens in Mission District and so forth, or Chez Panisse, in Berkeley, okay? So that's where I learned how to cook. And now, look at my food, You got that? That's how the great chefs learn, from studying under the better chefs. Same thing here. In order to become a great problem solver, what did this guy do? He studies how the Buddha solves problems. He excels at that. He understands. So that means that if you want to understand more about Buddha's sermons, go see him. He can explain it to you, why the Buddha says so. Okay? And he says, when the Buddha said so, it's for people like mama's boy, but not for people who are daddy's girl. That kind of thing, okay? So he understands so much about how, what the solution is for, what kind of a problem, okay? That kind of accuracy. Does it help? This is how I would interpret it based on the Chinese and Taiwanese versions. Yes. 7.
Master, there's a correction. I think the name is 轮齐天王.
轮齐.
Yeah, so it's... Ji.
That's to help, right? Ji. There's a water in front. Am I correct?
Belly button. Like the belly button, the 肚脐, 轮脐.
Okay, don't confuse it. Ignore her.
So it's, yeah, that I think it's a type.
How can you talk about, a wheel and navel? What kind of nonsense is that?
So in the book, in Master Xuanhua's explanation, printed in the book, saying that because he manages the living beings in the sixth path and resolves the living and reborn problems.
Why navel? When you're reborn, you have a navel? It's okay. So he does his way. I do it my way. 676. Oh, time is up. Is it time up? I have 4 more minutes. We do real quick, okay? Okay. So that's your place of light. Quickly, Chinese person.
光焰天王.
Okay, so this one, 677. So this guy here, he doesn't say anything. He says, Master, I have a problem. What does he do? He shines light on you. I see the way now. And that's what he does. It's so cool when you have a problem, when you don't know what to do. You have a big problem in life. What does he do? He turns on the light. It's like, hey, flip the switch on and shines lights on, the wisdom light on you. And you say, oh, thank you. Why did I think of that? Very powerful. Huh? You know what it really happens though? The reason that you cannot solve problem because mentally you have a blockage up here. You cannot see through, right? So the light is actually, the light has the effect of unblocking you. It's okay. Way bound.
Emitofuo Master, how do we brighten ourselves?
Brighten yourself?
Yeah, and turn up the light.
Turn on light? That's a good question. Which light do you have now? Which model is that? Is that Hitachi? From
American made.
Huh?
I'm American made.
You American made. Well, the light is not bright enough. Okay, the assumption here is you need to have enough light in order to be able to do that. I just explained to you. The light here is actually, you see as a light, but actually it's like it has the ability to unblock your blockages, your mental blockages, your chi blockages up here. And that's why you're able to see through your problems. That's how he functions. Therefore, if you listen to that closely, it's describing the ability of this guy to unblock you with his light. It's not a regular light, American-made, or even Japanese for that matter. It's a spiritual light. Okay? Remember, like, you ever met anyone, you come to say, I have this big problem, can you help me? And this person just look at you and turn on a light somewhere and you say, I got it. Okay, thank you. And that's what he does. It's so cool. He's very powerful. Doesn't use words. Because what happens when you solve problems that, you say, I have a problem with my husband. He turns on the light. Oh, thank you. Why didn't I think of that? Whereas the other guy, his competitor says, the Mary Jo say, come, don't worry. Lie down on my couch. That's take it from the beginning. Tell me about your parents. Huh? Mary Jo, am I correct?
Yeah, we don't
Meow.
typically get that late.
You see, for Mary Jo to help you solve problems, she says, okay, tell me. Okay, this morning I had a consultation as well. As I said, 5 o'clock in the morning, I almost forgot as well until Xin texted me and said, did you send me the Discord link? I said, oh, I'm supposed to have a meeting at 5, so I better get up and brush my teeth. But anyway, and so this guy is incredible. He just shine a wisdom light, and you see clearly. That's all. That's what he does. Isn't that cool? It's inconceivable. Okay, thank you, everyone. We stop here today. See, it says, light shines upon the world, benefiting all living beings. Yeah, benefiting here refers to he can solve problems, okay? He can help you see through your problems. Next time, 680. Thank you, everyone. Let's do reverse transference.